Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre.
And I am Benoit.
And we have more of the BD Cosmos. This is Summer Kit, Game 2, Match 1. So on the left we have John, and he's going to be playing an NEH deck. And on the right we have Eric, and he's going to be bringing Valencia. So out of the entire tournament, I think John was probably the person who brought the more mainstream kind of decks.
Yeah, he was trying to play at Gen Con, so he was trying out his decks before, I think it's 1 week before Gen Con or something.
Exactly. So he wanted to try these hyper-competitive, very reliable decks. Yep. I think is also really important when you're playing Gen Con.
Yeah.
You're playing a lot of games in a row. You don't want to be that stressed about variance. It's also really tiring to play some decks.
Yeah. And it also, the cut was pretty aggressive. So.
Yeah. So these are the good decks, as you could say. On the right, we have Eric, who's also a very good Netrunner player. He's been in the Montreal scene since almost the beginning, I think.
Yeah, I think he was one of the first few to show up in the Kits tournament and everything.
Right.
At the beginning.
So he's playing a Valencia deck. From what I imagine, and if I recall correctly, this should be pretty similar to the competitive Valencia decks that we saw in the regionals in Montreal. If you want to go back, there's some videos that show how those decks work. Basically, they have a lot of resource economy.
Yeah.
Because it's Valencia, the bad pub is really good for trashing assets, let alone blackmail is something you always have to worry about.
You just play a scrubber and then you're almost like a wizard.
Yeah.
And also you can blackmail, so you can always threaten remotes.
Right. So I don't think blackmail is going to be that strong against NEH.
Nope.
They're not really building strong servers with multiple pieces of ice you have to break. It's a butcher shop NEH deck.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. So it's about money. It's an econ game at this point.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if Valencia can keep up.
We'll see.
NEH does have the ability always to play those assets that make money and to continue making money. So it's always a struggle. We'll see how this goes. It looks like neither are taking a mulligan and ice up and take some sweeps week. I talked to John and Eric before this about being on camera, and I told them to play their operations for the camera, and they do it so wonderfully. It is really funny to watch.
Nice.
So Valencia turn 1. Would you face check NEH ice off the bat?
Yes, of course.
Always?
Especially if you're also playing its Butcher Shop. On your first or second click, go for it.
Right. So looks like Eric is going to be checking HQ.
Yep.
He does see mid-seasons, and now he installs an imp. If he installed an imp before, it would have been really good.
Yeah.
But because of the imp threat, it looks like that Eli is going to come up.
Yeah.
Can't click through that now.
Nope.
So that's unfortunate. But, mid-seasons is now a thing. It's Butcher Shop. You cannot access agendas without money. The good thing, though, with the imp...
You can imp the agenda, so you don't steal it.
I think imp is such a great counter to a mid-season type deck. This was before we had...
Film Critic, of course.
We still haven't seen firsthand how Film Critic is working. It's been out for maybe half a week here in Montreal.
Probably, yeah.
But I think it should be good. But now with imp instead, when you access the agenda, you can just imp it, throw it into the archives. You're not scoring it.
But you're keeping it away from the corp, which is a good thing.
Which is pretty all right. So it looks like John is going to respect that imp threat, and he's going to put another piece of ice onto HQ, and then Jackson up a bit for cards.
I would go R&D. There you go.
Check R&D. So I haven't seen this entirely in all the NEH decks that I've seen online, but if I recall correctly, we'll see if he reses this. I'm pretty worried. Yeah, there you go. Gutenberg. Gutenberg is such a dirty piece of ice.
Yep.
I don't know how to deal with it.
And you also have to encounter it first time, so you'll access card, but you have one tag. You just clear your tag. That's the only thing you can do. It basically costs you 2.
Yeah. So an imp is going to take the Dead Raven.
Yeah.
But the easiest way to deal with Gutenberg is David.
Yeah, or just taking the tag and clearing it, which is like
two clicks.
I know,
and 2
it's
credits
expensive.
for an R&D access.
You can still get
like
in
a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that card is really good. It does fall apart if the midseason lands because tags don't matter at that point. But generally, if the midseason lands, how much longer are you going to be on the board for?
Yep.
So we'll see. I really have problems with that piece of ice. Looks like Data Raven's also going to be there, so that's a lot of tagging ice. I've had problems playing these kind of Butcher Shop decks where you do land a mid-seasons and can't capitalize it right away. All this ice becomes useless.
Yeah.
You can walk through just about everything.
It can also be hard if the runner can be tagged and not care, really. If they have like 1 or 2 Plascretes and they just run everywhere with tags, which...
Yeah, at that point doesn't matter. You do have to worry about psychographics.
Yep.
I don't know.
If you find the agendas before the corp does,
Do most butcher shops decks run? Do they run psychographics all the time?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm
Depends
not
on the
entirely sure.
list.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it depends on person to person. It looks like they're gonna run the Jackson, which is gonna be trashed only for 2
Yep.
credits with the bad pub.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eric is down to just 1 credit, so he's still gonna check something. You could imp that pad campaign if you like.
But yeah.
Looks like he's going to.
You could also wait for him to res it because he's probably not going to ice it. So you could run next turn, but you save 1 click by doing it right away. So
Right. So it looks like the idea here is that nobody's going to have money,
yeah, right now no one has money.
which is actually in a pretty okay board state to be in
Yep.
because, I don't know. So most of these decks to put in a Sansan City grid.
Yeah.
So you need money for that.
Yeah, but Butcher Shop you don't really need Sansan because you just install multiple agendas, but you need money to install your agendas.
Right.
Because if you have no money, you don't threaten the mid-season or scoring your agendas.
Yeah.
So for now, it has to gain money and install crap. So
Yeah.
that card is probably not an agenda. Oh, it is because it cost 4.
Right.
Oh, 1 with the bad pub and 3 credits. So we'll see. But the problem is, if he steals it, he knows that mid-season is coming.
Right. And I don't know even if I would steal that,
Nope.
even if it was advanced once, because that's going to take 5 advancement counters because of the bad pub. That is the hardest agenda
So,
in the deck to steal.
NAPD is actually a good and a bad thing in the Butcher Shop.
Yes.
Because sometimes you want the runner to get your agendas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
right now, the runner has the option to not pay for it.
Doesn't mind.
Yep.
At this point in time, Explodapalooza is out.
Yeah.
Which is a very similar card in a lot of ways
Mm-hmm.
to NAPD contract. However, so if you're not familiar with the card, it has an on-access ability that gives the corp 5 credits.
Credit. Which is 1 more than NAPD if you look at the pros and cons.
Right,
Which is
unless
already
you
1
install
more.
Advance It,
Yep.
which basically comes out at 4. But the difference is it's not a choice.
Yeah.
It's with NAPD. So right now, Eric ran into it and he decided not to do anything.
If it would have
with
been a Palooza, he would have
he
taken
has
it
to steal it, and
also
you
give
get 5 credits.
which
So
is
immediately
great.
mid-season
Yep.
is on, which is very interesting. I really like that. Do you want the corp, the runner, to have less credits, or do you want to have more credits? It's a very interesting choice and a very exciting agenda. So that's going to be a faceplant into wraparound. I saw in hand that John did have an Astro. This might be a rush for the
1 or
Astro.
2 actually.
Oh,
I think
really?
I might have seen 2.
Okay.
So that might be 2 agendas. But now the runner is getting in the. Is he tagged, by the way? Is that a
No,
tag?
I think it's his bed pub.
That's his bad pub. Okay, perfect.
Unless he's he wouldn't be floating a tag. It seems like a bad idea.
Yep.
So there's 2 options through here. Well, first option, if he didn't run, he could have blackmailed right away, which is annoying if that's a pop-up window into like a Sansan. It's probably not the best. But now he has to deal with it. Generally, Anarchs have 2 ways. That's a really good way, the David. Otherwise, you do have the Corroder. And it looks like if he installs it, he's probably going to go for it.
Yeah, I think he was going to score the agenda this turn.
Right. So 4 credits to 3 credits. It does take 5 credits to land a mid-season. He could credit a mid-season. It would be a weak mid-season. You could maybe keep 2 tags. Now the thing is, if
The
John
runner has
is
4, so if you take 1 credit in mid-season, it's not that great because it's only a trace 6, which is going to be 2 tags,
and you can remove those.
and you can remove those.
Yeah. So you don't know.
And you don't have money to scorch me because you already paid your 5.
Exactly.
Which is I think taking 1 credit, playing. There we go.
So I think he took 2, and he's going to do the mid-seasons down to 1 credit. The question now, which is always an interesting question, do you put all your credits into it to dodge it?
As the runner, I would right now.
You would?
Yep.
Okay.
To take only 3 tags and then.
But then you
have the option to clear them.
So would your
near
next
future?
turn would be remove tags as soon as possible?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Depending on what I have, I think clearing your tag because the corp invested so much. You already scored 2 points.
Yeah.
And then they invest their turn and all their money into tagging you. So even if in 2 or 3 turns you get back in the money and just clear your tags, what have you lost as the runner?
Yeah, both players are just slowed down. It does give a scoring window to the corp.
There you go. So Eric's paying 4.
It looks like Eric is paying 4, so that's just 3 tags.
3 tags.
So that's going to take probably 2-3 turns to clear.
Probably
I think
3 turns.
Yeah.
I think I would not clear more than 1 per turn and try to survive during those turns.
Because this is a butcher shop deck, there is a
Yep.
big difference between having one tag and 2 or more.
Oh, of course.
Just because traffic
and
accidents
also,
on.
like, the corp has 0 credit right now.
Right.
So as the runner, I'm clearing my tags as soon as possible, just so I'm out of the scorch or whatever else.
Right.
And
So the other option is to rush for a Plascrete or I've had worse if that's
or
a thing, and then just go tag
I hope
me.
Eric. I haven't seen Eric's hand, but I hope he has the I've had worse. He's going to take 1 more tag probably, or jack out before.
So that's no res,
All right.
and it looks like he's going to be accessing some cards. I think he's going tag me at this point.
But why did he pay then?
Pay for what?
For the trace?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's a big question that we should ask him.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Because if you're going to go all in, you can go all in. Perhaps I don't think you'd be running an account siphon. The other option is just to keep the corp consistently poor, which is hard with Sweeps Week. That's a card that doesn't cost a lot of credits, let alone hitting a pop-up window is pretty disastrous at this point. You're now giving the corp credits, which is the only
You
thing
have your bad
they
pub,
need.
which is okay, but the corp
Right,
needs
but the corp
credit.
can't have credits because then the corp can scorch. And hey, there's one of the scorched already. I believe there is a full grip in Eric's hand, so it's going to take a while for that. There's also a traffic accident in his hand.
Yeah, he needs to gain credit first, though.
Right, and then we can see if death is going to
If
follow.
only he had the sweep week at that point.
Yeah, that'd be really
great.
good. He does also have a sure gamble, so that can be turned on next turn. So he's just going to take some money, and now as a runner, you're in a really bad spot.
Yep.
You can't untag yourself at this point. You can just go for it.
If he was going to keep the tag, he should have kept his money and take 7 or 8 tags because it doesn't really matter. And he would actually be able to steal the NAPD. And right now he doesn't have any money, so...
Yeah, multi-access at this point also would be really big.
Yeah,
because right now you're only seeing one card of R&D, and if it's just not in your favor, you can't win the game fast enough. So it looks like we're going to test the water with traffic accident. Generally against Anarch, you lead with traffic accident.
Yeah, just
for
to
I've had
snipe
worse.
out the I've had worse. There we go. One, and
that's
then
2.
So draw 3 cards. So right now as the corp, I don't think I'm playing any more Scorch or
No, I'd
traffic.
hold off for a bit, yeah. But that's really good. That's a 0 credit investment just to get rid of the I've had worse.
That is already at 1, which is great.
So 1 Jackson is down.
Yeah.
We have 1 meat damage card. I think there's 6 in the deck, generally 3 and 3.
Yeah, of course.
So perhaps you have a bigger window. There is a Scorched Earth in there, so the runner for sure can't go less than 3 cards. And I think you access R&D again.
At that point, you hope for a Plascrete.
Yeah, you really do. Do you draw hard for it? Maybe another I've had worse? Yeah, I think you have to. I think running I've had worse, you wouldn't probably run Plascrete as well.
You can do both.
You could do both. I'm not sure whether the Valencia decks did. It looks like you're going to run again. With 9 credits, you can consider resing some ice. If that's a wraparound, that can be broken. But Eli is probably the best thing right there.
Yeah, so good.
So even if you click through there just to get to the top card and take another tag, looks like that is going to happen. You're just going to see 1 card. That's a pop-up window. I guess that's...
Yeah, he's 5 points away from winning, which is a lot of points.
The NAPD is on the table, so he's technically only just about 3 points from...
It still needs a couple.
And there's another traffic accident in hand.
So if he hits no I've had worse, the Scorch is going to end the game.
That's easily game. It looks like that is game.
Oh, he had 1 too many cards.
He had 1 too many cards in hand. It doesn't seem like it mattered.
Anything and doesn't matter because he had no I've had worse at that point.
And Scorch Earth is going to kill Valencia.
There you go.
Boom, fire.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Incredibly fast, but it never got to high credit amounts.
No, never.
It was still super low credits. But still you have to respect mid-seasons even without any money, which is somewhat of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Well,
good
hey,
game.
I guess,
game.
Yeah, very fast game. We can talk to John after and figure out how he went at Gen Con with that deck.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for match 2 of this game. Perfect. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Ciao.